Let's start with a truth most people avoid. You are not overwhelmed because life is hard. You are overwhelmed because your mind is undisciplined. That sting you feel right now, that's not life attacking you. That's distraction piling up inside you, opinions you didn't ask for, timelines you didn't choose, problems you were never meant to carry. The world is loud, but it's not forcing you to listen. The Stoics understood this long ago. They didn't blame the world for their suffering. They looked inward. Why everything feels so heavy? Look closely at your stress. Is it really the traffic, the job, the message that didn't get answered? Or is it what happens after? The spiraling, the stories you tell yourself, the anger that lingers long after the moment ends? Epictetus said something most people ignore. Man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. That means the problem isn't the event, it's the meaning you attach to it. The illusion of control. Most people try to control everything except the one thing they actually can. They try to control outcomes, people, timing, opinions, and when those things resist, they suffer. The Stoics called this madness, because external control is an illusion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That sentence isn't philosophy. It's a survival manual. Why reacting is your real enemy. Every reaction trains your mind. Every emotional explosion teaches your nervous system. This is dangerous. Panic again next time. Most people don't realize they've trained themselves into chaos. They don't pause, they escalate, they replay, they obsess, and then they wonder why peace feels impossible. Peace isn't missing, it's being interrupted. Calm is not weakness. Here's the lie you were taught. If you stay calm, it means you don't care. The Stoics taught the opposite. Staying calm is self-mastery. It's choosing not to hand your nervous system to every trigger that walks by. You still feel anger. You still feel frustration. You just don't let it drive. The space that changes everything. There is a moment most people ignore. The space between stimulus and response. That space is small, but it is where your power lives. Every time you pause instead of react, you retrain your mind. You weaken old habits, you strengthen discipline, one calm decision at a time. Why most suffering is optional? Ask yourself honestly, how much of your pain comes from what happened? And how much comes from replaying it, catastrophizing it, refusing to accept what already is? The Stoics didn't deny pain, they denied unnecessary suffering. Acceptance was their shield. You don't need a new life. You don't need new circumstances. You need command over your inner world, because the moment you stop reacting to everything, everything stops owning you. You are not drowning in life, you are drowning in untrained reactions. Next in the video, we'll confront another Stoic truth most people resist: why your past is not your identity, and how letting go of self-blame is the first step to mental strength. Most people are not suffering from the present, they are suffering from a version of themselves that no longer exists. A mistake they made, a moment they regret, a decision they wish they could undo. They carry these memories like proof that they are flawed, proof that they failed, proof that they are behind. The Stoics saw this as one of the most destructive habits of the mind. Not because the past is meaningless, but because living inside it is voluntary. Why the past feels so heavy? The past feels heavy because it feels permanent. It already happened. It cannot be changed. It feels final. So the mind keeps returning to it, as if replaying the memory might somehow fix it. But replay does not repair, it only reinforces. Every time you relive the past emotionally, you strengthen the identity attached to it. I am the person who failed. I am the person who messed up. I am the person who wasted time. The Stoics would say this is false. You are the person remembering those events, not the person trapped inside them. Memory is not reality. Here is something most people never question. Your memory is not the event itself. It is a story your mind retells, filtered through emotion, guilt, and interpretation. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, do not disturb yourself by imagining your whole life at once. He understood that the mind exaggerates when it looks backward. It sharpens failure. It softens context. It ignores growth, and then it calls that distortion truth. Why self-blame feels like responsibility. Many people cling to self-blame because it feels responsible. If I punish myself, I'll improve. If I don't forget, I won't repeat the mistake. If I stay ashamed, I'll stay disciplined. The Stoics rejected this completely. Self-blame is not discipline, it is emotional indulgence. Real discipline is forward-facing. It learns, then moves on. The Stoic definition of growth. Stoic growth has 3 steps. 1. Acknowledge what happened without excuses, without denial. 2. Extract the lesson. What did this teach me about judgment, impulse, or expectation? 3. Release the rest, no rumination, no identity attachment. Anything beyond that is wasted mental energy. Why carrying the past weakens you? When you define yourself by the past, you hesitate in the present, you second guess, you doubt your decisions, you fear repeating mistakes. This creates paralysis. And paralysis looks like being stuck. The Stoics believed strength comes from presence, from meeting each moment as it is, not as a continuation of yesterday's regret. You are allowed to change. This may sound simple, but it is revolutionary. You are allowed to outgrow your past. You do not owe loyalty to outdated versions of yourself. What mattered then does not have to matter now. The Stoics believed identity was not something you discover. It is something you practice daily. A simple Stoic practice. When a past mistake surfaces, ask, is this memory helping me act better right now? If the answer is no, dismiss it. Not angrily, not emotionally. Simply redirect your attention to what is in front of you. This is mental discipline. The shift you'll begin to feel as attachment to the past weakens. Guilt softens. Clarity increases. Confidence stabilizes. Energy returns. You stop dragging weight into the present, and the present finally feels manageable. You are not your past actions. You are your current judgments. Change those, and your life changes immediately. Now, we'll confront why trying to fix your emotions keeps you stuck, and how Stoicism teaches you to experience emotion without letting it control your behavior. Most people believe their emotions are the problem. They want to fix anxiety, eliminate anger, remove fear, control sadness. So they fight their emotions, they suppress them, they distract themselves, they shame themselves for feeling wrong. The Stoics would tell you this is backwards. Emotions are not the problem, your relationship with them is. Why fighting emotions makes them stronger. When you fight an emotion, you give it importance. You signal to your mind, this feeling is dangerous. And the mind responds by amplifying it. Anxiety grows when resisted. Anger intensifies when suppressed. Fear multiplies when avoided. The Stoics observed this carefully. They noticed that emotions fade naturally when they are not fed with judgment. Emotions are signals, not commands. Here is the Stoic distinction that changes everything. An emotion is information, not instruction. Anger signals perceived injustice. Fear signals uncertainty. Sadness signals loss. But none of these feelings tell you how to act. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself. You do not have to turn this into something. Feeling anger does not require action. Feeling fear does not require retreat. Feeling sadness does not require collapse. The feeling arrives automatically. Your response is optional. The critical Stoic pause between emotion and action. There is a small gap. This gap is where discipline lives. Most people skip it. They feel, then act. The Stoics trained themselves to pause inside that moment, to notice the emotion without obeying it. This pause weakens emotional authority. Without obedience, emotion loses control. Why emotional control is not suppression. Stoicism is often misunderstood. It does not teach emotional numbness. It teaches emotional literacy. You acknowledge what you feel. You name it clearly. You observe it honestly, but you do not let it drive. Suppression pushes emotions underground. Observation lets them pass. The difference between pain and suffering. Pain is unavoidable. Loss, discomfort, disappointment. Suffering is optional. It comes from resistance, interpretation, storytelling. The Stoics accepted pain but refused unnecessary suffering. They didn't ask, "Why do I feel this?" They asked, "What judgment is attached to this feeling?" Remove the judgment and the emotion softens. Why trying to be positive fails? Forcing positivity is another form of resistance. It denies reality. The Stoics rejected false optimism. They believed calm came from clarity, not positivity. You don't need to feel good. You need to think clearly. Clarity creates calm as a byproduct. A simple Stoic practice. When an emotion arises, say internally, "I notice anger. I notice fear. I notice frustration." Do not add, "This shouldn't be happening. I must fix this. This means something about me." Just notice. Then continue acting according to your values. This trains emotional discipline. What begins to change? As you stop fighting emotions, reactions slow, inner chaos reduces, self-trust increases, emotional resilience strengthens. You stop being afraid of how you feel, and what you stop fearing stops controlling you. Why this fixes most problems? Most problems escalate because emotion takes control of behavior. Remove that control, and problems shrink. You respond instead of react. You decide instead of explode. You endure instead of escape. This alone fixes more than half of what people call life problems. You don't need to eliminate emotion to master your life. You need to stop letting emotion decide for you. Most people believe comfort is the goal, a smooth life, no stress, no resistance, no discomfort. At first, this sounds reasonable, but the Stoics saw something dangerous hiding beneath it. Comfort does not protect you, it weakens you. Why comfort feels safe, but isn't comfort removes friction, and friction is where strength is built. When life is easy for too long, your tolerance for difficulty shrinks. Small problems feel overwhelming. Minor stress feels unbearable. Unexpected change feels like disaster. The Stoics noticed this pattern clearly. They saw that men raised in constant ease panicked when hardship appeared, not because hardship was extreme, but because they were untrained. The modern addiction to ease today. Comfort is everywhere. Food arrives instantly. Entertainment never ends. Discomfort can be avoided with a screen. Silence can be escaped at any moment. This constant ease conditions the mind to expect smoothness. So when reality pushes back, and it always does, the mind reacts with shock. Anger rises faster. Anxiety spikes quicker. Patience disappears. This is not weakness of character. It is weakness of conditioning. Why Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort? The Stoics did something strange. They chose discomfort even when comfort was available. Cold exposure, simple food, physical exertion, sleep without luxury, not to punish themselves, but to remind themselves, I can endure more than I think. This practice rebuilt confidence from the inside. When discomfort arrived uninvited, it felt familiar, not frightening. Discomfort trains emotional stability. When you expose yourself to difficulty deliberately, your nervous system adapts. You learn that discomfort does not equal danger. This reduces emotional overreaction. You stop panicking at pressure. You stop collapsing under stress. You stop needing everything to feel good. Calm becomes available even when things are hard. This is emotional strength. Why avoiding discomfort makes anxiety? Worse avoidance teaches fear. Each time you escape discomfort, your mind learns, this was dangerous. So next time, the fear arrives faster and stronger. This is how anxiety grows. The Stoics understood that the way out was not avoidance, but exposure with control. Face discomfort calmly, and the fear dissolves. Discomfort reveals what matters. When comfort disappears, clarity appears. You see which problems are real and which were imaginary. You learn what you actually need, not what you were distracted into wanting. The Stoics believed hardship stripped life down to truth, and truth builds resilience. How to practice Stoic discomfort today? You don't need extremes. Start small. Delay gratification. Sit with silence. Do the difficult task first. Train when you don't feel like it. Resist unnecessary comfort. Each small exposure strengthens you. Consistency matters more than intensity. The shift you'll begin to feel. As discomfort becomes familiar, stress feels manageable, confidence stabilizes, fear loses urgency, calm appears under pressure. You stop needing ideal conditions. You become adaptable. Why this fixes so much? Many problems people face are not problems at all. They are discomfort, intolerance. Build tolerance and half your problems dissolve. Comfort does not make life safer. Strength does. And strength is built where comfort ends. Most anxiety comes from one mistake. You try to control what was never yours to control. Results, timing, other people's reactions, how things should turn out. The Stoics saw this clearly. They believed peace begins the moment you separate effort from outcome. Why control feels necessary? Control feels like safety. If you can manage every variable, nothing will go wrong. That's the illusion. In reality, trying to control outcomes keeps your mind permanently tense. You are always anticipating, always preparing for disappointment, always bracing for loss. Marcus Aurelius warned against this. Do not let the future trouble you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. The Stoic line that changes everything. The Stoics drew a clear boundary. Some things depend on you. Some things do not. You control effort, discipline, preparation, response. You do not control results, recognition, outcomes. Other people confusing these two categories is the root of constant stress. Why outcome focus creates anxiety? When you focus on outcomes, your mind leaves the present. You act, but you're already judging. Will this work? What if it fails? What will they think? This split attention weakens performance. The Stoics believed anxiety was not fear of action, but fear of future judgment. Effort is the only safe anchor. Effort is stable. It's available right now. It's repeatable. It's measurable. When you focus fully on effort, your mind settles. You stop performing for the future and start working in the present. This is where calm lives. Detachment is not indifference. Stoic detachment is often misunderstood. It does not mean you don't care. It means you care about the right thing. You care about acting well, not about being praised, not about winning every time. not about controlling the scoreboard. This creates emotional stability. You're no longer lifted by success or crushed by failure, while letting go improves results. Ironically, when you stop clinging to outcomes, results often improve. Your thinking clears, your actions sharpen, your timing improves, pressure disappears. The Stoics believed calm execution was more powerful than anxious ambition. A simple Stoic practice. Before any task, ask, what part of this is mine to control? Then ignore everything else. If thoughts drift to outcomes, gently bring them back to effort. This trains mental discipline. What you'll start to notice, as outcome attachment weakens, anxiety decreases, focus increases, resilience grows, confidence stabilizes. You stop fearing failure because failure no longer defines you. Why this fixes so many problems? Most problems are magnified by emotional attachment to outcomes. Remove the attachment and the problem shrinks. You respond instead of panic. You adjust instead of collapse. You don't control how things turn out. You control how you show up. And that control is more than enough. Next, we'll explore why most mental suffering comes from comparison and how Stoicism frees you from measuring your life against others. There is one habit that drains more mental energy than almost anything else. Comparison. Not the obvious kind, the quiet kind. You don't even notice it happening. You scroll, you observe, you measure, and suddenly your life feels smaller than it did 5 minutes ago. The Stoics warned against this long before social media existed. They understood that comparison does not improve character, it only distorts judgment. Why comparison feels so natural? The mind is wired to compare. It looks for position, for status, for advantage. In early human life, this was about survival. Today, it's about identity. You don't just compare success, you compare pace, appearance, confidence, happiness. And the comparison is never fair. You compare your inner struggle to someone else's outer image. The Stoics would call this irrational, and irrational thinking creates suffering. Why comparison steals satisfaction? Even when life is going well, comparison interrupts it. You achieve something, then see someone doing better. You feel progress, then notice someone moving faster. So satisfaction disappears before it can settle. Marcus Aurelius warned himself, do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others, not because others don't matter, but because constant comparison prevents peace. Comparison moves the goalposts. Comparison makes enough impossible. No matter what you achieve, there is always someone ahead in some area. More money, more attention, more status, more approval. So the goalpost keeps moving, and chasing a moving target creates exhaustion. The Stoics believed contentment came from alignment with values, not position relative to others. Why comparison creates anxiety? Comparison puts your self-worth outside your control. Your mood becomes dependent on external measurement. If others rise, you feel behind. If others fall, you feel relief. This is emotional slavery. Stoicism teaches independence. Your worth comes from how you act, not where you rank. The Stoic alternative, self-reference. The Stoics practiced self-reference. They measured themselves against their own standards. Did I act with discipline today? Did I respond with reason? Did I uphold my values under pressure? These questions build character. They don't fluctuate with trends. Why comparison weakens discipline? When you compare, you lose focus. You start copying paths that aren't yours. You chase goals you don't actually want. Discipline collapses when direction is unclear. Stoicism restores clarity by narrowing attention back to you. A simple Stoic practice. When comparison appears, ask, Is this within my control? If not, release it. Then ask, what is one action I can take right now that aligns with my values? Do that. This shifts power back to you. The shift you'll begin to feel. As comparison weakens, envy fades, confidence stabilizes, gratitude increases, focus sharpens, you stop racing, you start progressing. Why? This fixes so much comparison, fuels anxiety, resentment, and distraction. Remove it, and many problems lose intensity. You gain mental space, and mental space is where calm lives. You were not meant to live by someone else's measurement. Your task is not to outrun others, but to act rightly today. Now, we'll confront the final internal enemy, why overthinking keeps you stuck, and how Stoicism trains decisive action without anxiety or doubt. Most people believe they overthink because they care too much. The Stoics saw something else. They believed overthinking was often a disguised form of avoidance, not because you are lazy, but because action carries risk, and risk exposes you. Why overthinking feels productive? Overthinking feels like preparation. You analyze, you replay, you consider every angle. It creates the illusion of progress, but no movement happens. Marcus Aurelius warned himself, do not waste time on what you cannot change. Overthinking wastes time by pretending to protect you. Why action feels? Dangerous action forces contact with reality. You might fail. You might look foolish. You might be wrong. So the mind stays busy. It plans endlessly to avoid the moment of decision. The Stoics understood that certainty is never available before action. Waiting for it is waiting forever. The cost of delay. Every delayed decision trains hesitation. Confidence weakens. Opportunities shrink. Self-trust erodes. You begin to doubt even simple choices. Over time, this becomes a habit. The Stoics believed courage was built through repetition. Decide, act, adjust. Why? Overthinking feeds anxiety. Overthinking keeps the mind locked in the future. What if this goes wrong? What if I regret this? What if I choose badly? The Stoics taught that anxiety comes from imagining outcomes without engaging reality. Action collapses imagined fear. Stoic decision-making. Stoicism does not demand perfection, it demands clarity. A Stoic decision follows this pattern. 1. Use reason to choose the best option available. 2. Act without emotional attachment to outcome. 3. Accept results calmly. 4. Adjust if needed. No drama, no paralysis. Why? Imperfect action builds strength. Every action teaches you something. Even mistakes build skill. Overthinking teaches nothing. It only deepens doubt. The Stoics valued progress over flawless execution. Movement mattered more than certainty. A simple Stoic practice. When stuck, ask, what is the smallest reasonable action I can take right now? Do it. Do not analyze beyond that. Momentum breaks mental loops. The shift you'll notice as overthinking weakens. Decisions speed up. Confidence increases. Anxiety decreases. Self-trust returns. You stop negotiating with fear. You move. Why? This fixes most problems. Many problems persist only because no action is taken. Once movement begins, clarity follows. The Stoics knew this. They didn't wait to feel ready. They acted according to reason. Clarity comes from action, not from thinking about action. When all these lessons come together, something subtle but powerful happens. Life does not become easy, but it becomes manageable. You stop feeling attacked by every inconvenience. You stop drowning in every emotion. You stop carrying problems longer than necessary. This is what the Stoics meant by mastery. Not control over the world, but stability within yourself. Why most problems were never that big. Looking back, many of the problems that once overwhelmed you were not permanent. They felt massive because your mind amplified them. You reacted too quickly. You judged too harshly. You resisted what already was. Stoicism does not erase difficulty. It removes exaggeration. And exaggeration is what turns challenges into suffering. The calm that comes from discipline. By now, you've learned to pause instead of react, observe emotions instead of fighting them, accept discomfort instead of avoiding it, focus on effort instead of outcomes, stop comparing your path to others, act instead of overthinking. Each habit alone helps. Together, they create a mind that is difficult to disturb. This calm is not passive, it is trained. Why nothing needs to be perfect? The Stoics never chased perfection, they chased consistency. They understood that life is uncertain, and mistakes are inevitable. What mattered was not avoiding failure, but responding to it with reason. When something goes wrong, you don't collapse, you adjust. This ability alone eliminates most fear. The end of emotional whiplash. Without Stoic discipline, your emotions pull you everywhere. High one day, low the next. Calm for an hour, anxious for a week. With discipline, emotions still appear, but they pass faster. They no longer define you. You feel without being ruled. This is emotional freedom. Why external chaos stops controlling you? The world will remain unpredictable. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Life will interrupt. But when your stability is internal, external chaos loses leverage. You no longer expect life to be fair. You expect yourself to be resilient. This shift changes everything. What strength actually looks like strength is not domination, not loud confidence, not emotional suppression. Stoic strength looks like this: calm under pressure, restraint when provoked, clarity in confusion, action without panic, acceptance without resignation. It is quiet, but it is unbreakable. Why 94% of problems lose their power? Most problems fall into one category. They are intensified by reaction. Remove reaction, and the problem shrinks. This is why Stoicism works so well. It doesn't fight life. It teaches you how to meet it properly. The daily Stoic question. At the end of each day, ask, did I respond with reason today? Not, did everything go well? Did I feel good all day? Did others approve? Just this, because reason is always within reach. The final Stoic truth, Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, not circumstances, not luck, not ease. Thoughts. Train them and life becomes lighter. Where this journey ends. This series does not promise a life without problems. It promises something better. A mind that does not panic, a character that does not collapse, a discipline that does not depend on mood. And when the mind is steady, most problems stop feeling like enemies. They become events, and events pass.